And to be quite honest with you, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with Sue Bird.
Sue Bird just pointed the finger, and not at the WNBA, but at Caitlin Clark for crashing ticket prices to a shocking $5.
And now,
Stephen A. Smith is furious. Shannon Sharpe isn't backing down, and the league is scrambling to clean up a PR disaster as playoff seats go empty and fans start asking, is Caitlin Clark being set up to take the fall for a league-wide collapse?
This is what we want. This is what we want. Instead, we're still getting bullshit on viewership numbers.
Sue Bird, one of the most respected legends in WNBA history, shocked fans during a recent media appearance when she blamed the collapse in playoff interest on Caitlin Clark's absence, not the league itself. And she didn't stop there.
What do you mean ESPN? What do you mean ESPN? So because I work at my day job on ESPN, I'm supposed to ignore the facts?
Stephen A. Smith wasn't having it. In a now viral segment, he called out Sue Bird directly, accusing her of protecting the league's image at the expense of honesty.
Stephen A. Smith talk about it. Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Shannon Sharpe talk about it. And that's what I just don't understand is they work for ESPN. So why are you hating on a product that ESPN
that they invest in?
Yeah, that's where these viewership numbers are coming. Yeah, it's a business you're in. It's not that they can't. And by the way, it's not that they can't be critical of certain things. They can have their opinions. But that's where I don't understand the framing.
Then came the revelation that playoff tickets, once selling for $150, were now crashing to less than the price of a fast food burger. At Target Center in Minnesota, seats dropped to just $10. In some cities, only $5.
See tickets at the Target Center in Minnesota selling for as low as $10.
Ironically, Sue Bird was one of the first voices to praise Caitlin Clark's rise during her Iowa days, even calling her a once-in-a-generation superstar. So what changed?
Shannon Sharpe starts to talk about the attendance and says, basically that Caitlin had the highest attendance in the playoffs, which Caitlin Clark played her first 2 rounds in Connecticut, which only holds roughly 10,000, and they got swept, so they never made it back to Cambridge in Indiana to play a home game. So they absolutely did not have the highest.
Sue Bird. March 2024, Caitlin's bringing in fans we've never seen before. She's growing the game faster than anyone.
There is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball, and especially on women's basketball ratings. Kudos to her. She has elevated an entire sport in viewership.
The fight isn't just over tickets. It's about power and who controls the WNBA's future. Bird represents the establishment. Clark is the disruptor. And the league? It's caught in between.
With Stephen A. and with Shannon, there's an aspect of them defending their stances on her. We were right about Caitlin and this is our defense. And I still think there's something twisted there because nobody ever said that Caitlin wasn't going to be a marketing gem.
The resentment isn't just performance-based, it's cultural. Clark's popularity threatens the old guard's influence. That tension is bubbling to the surface.
If you guys take a look at the stands, all the seats, even the courtside seats, are empty.
Shannon Sharpe echoed Stephen Yes' stance, but added that the backlash against Clark felt personal. Y'all made her the villain just for being great, he said.
I've been to the Liberty Games. They're full. It looks full in Vegas. It looks full every single place that you go. TD Garden sold out when Caitlin wasn't playing there for a regular season.
Through it all, Caitlin Clark has remained largely silent. No statements. No interviews calling out critics. Just basketball.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans.
Now, the WNBA stands at a crossroads. Embrace the star that's saving the league's relevance, or continue pretending this is business as usual.
Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now. Immediately, absolutely.
Sue Bird raised the alarm. Stephen A. fired back. And Caitlin Clark? She just keeps breaking records. The question now, can the WNBA survive without her? Or is this the beginning of a league-wide reckoning?
People stick around and want to watch the others. A rising tide lifts all boats, which is what we were saying, both Shannon Sharpe and myself, when we addressed that issue. Why would you say a quote like that? We work for ESPN, so I'm supposed to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the facts? That ain't what we do.
$5 tickets? In the middle of a historic rookie season? In a league fighting for national attention, The blame is now being thrown, and it's landing directly on Caitlin Clark. But who's pointing the finger? None other than WNBA legend Sue Bird. What happened behind closed doors to spark this media firestorm? And why is Caitlin Clark once again caught in the center of a controversy she didn't start?
You're going to see WNBA playoff viewership down now that Caitlin is out. And is that somewhat factually accurate? Yes. It's not accurate. Viewership numbers with Caitlin Clark are astronomical. She is a big draw.
Yeah.
She brings in all the things. We know this. We've said this.
Since her record-breaking debut, Caitlin Clark has brought millions of new fans to the WNBA. But instead of celebration, the reaction has been mixed, even hostile. Despite leading in jersey sales, breaking viewership records, and scoring 20 in her very first WNBA game, some league veterans and insiders have expressed resentment.
And to imply that we should just ignore the impact that Caitlin Clark had on this team, this league, this sport. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
Enter Sue Bird, a four-time WNBA champion and future Hall of Famer. In a surprising twist, Bird didn't hold back during a recent podcast appearance. Her message? The WNBA can't afford to become the Caitlin Clark League. And worse, she implied Clark may be part of the reason for the ticket price.
Regardless of whatever noise has been out there. So when you show that you're able to perform in the face of adversity, to me, that is the true testament to great.
After Caitlin's first few games, reports emerged that WNBA teams were quietly lowering ticket prices to fill arenas. Some dropped as low as $5. And while some blamed inflation and scheduling, others, including Sue Bird, pointed fingers at the league's Clark-centric marketing strategy.
When they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
The tension escalated further when ESPN's Stephen A. Smith took direct aim at the WNBA establishment, and perhaps at Sue Bird herself. "You don't market greatness by hiding it," Smith said. "You celebrate it." Smith's passionate defense of Clark sent social media into a frenzy, sparking debates across sports media.
You had people fighting tooth and nail the entire season, not wanting it to be this way because other people weren't getting flowers, or she was getting too much attention, or she gets a special whistle, or I'm gonna check her off the ball here just because.
This isn't the first time the WNBA has struggled to balance stardom with unity. Past stars like Lisa Leslie, Diana Taurasi, and Maya Moore all faced resistance. But Clark's meteoric rise has reignited that age-old tension, individual greatness versus collective growth.
Caitlin Clark, what was your adjustment to her? Because that's really like on some Steph Curry type of adjustment.
No, Caitlin is tough. She's good as advertised. I mean, in the WNBA, like, they said she's struggling and stuff like that, right? She had 20 points in her debut, 10 turnovers, but, like, I mean, if you have 20 points in your debut and that's a bad game, then, like...
That's considered a bad game. That's heavy, bro.
What does a good game look like? You know what I'm saying? So, playing against Caitlin Clark, like, she's really that dude.
I feel like the pressure on her is on some LeBron drafted into the NBA type of pressure. Like, the pressure is definitely different. There. Like, even if she do one wrong thing, the clips is gonna be rolling.
While Clark hasn't directly addressed Bird's comments, her recent on-court composure says it all. She continues to show up, deliver, and avoid drama, earning respect from opponents and teammates alike. In one post-game interview, she simply said, "So, where does the WNBA go from here? Can it embrace Clark's undeniable star power and grow its roster of talent? Or will internal divisions hold it back?" With ticket prices crashing and stars clashing in the media, the league is now facing a defining moment. Is Caitlin Clark to blame for the WNBA's ticket issues? Or is she simply the scapegoat for a league unsure how to handle sudden success? One thing is certain: if the WNBA wants to thrive, it needs to stop fighting its brightest star and start building around her. Thanks for watching. More deep dives into WNBA drama, rivalries, and off-court tensions coming soon. Hit the bell so you never miss the truth behind the headlines. In an era defined by innovation, transformation, and cultural disruption, Caitlin Clark has emerged not merely as a transcendent athlete, but as a dynamic force of nature whose gravity pulls public discourse, media scrutiny, and the aspirations of a new generation into her orbit. Her presence on the hardwood is not just a demonstration of athleticism, it is a declaration of a new era in women's basketball, one characterized by unapologetic dominance, relentless ambition, and seismic cultural resonance. Every three-pointer she launches, every court she graces, and every game she transforms becomes a stage where a legacy is carved not in stone but in adrenaline, fire, and resolve. Clark's rise is not an accident, but a consequence of meticulous mastery over her craft, fortified by an iron-willed mentality that rejects mediocrity and demands excellence at every touchpoint. As media giants, social commentators, former legends, and everyday fans scramble to interpret her impact, one truth remains undeniable. Caitlin Clark is no longer a player. She is a phenomenon, a generational catalyst who has rewritten the playbook on visibility, engagement, and influence. Whether celebrated or critiqued, she remains the centerpiece of conversation, driving ratings, shattering attendance records, and drawing unprecedented eyes to the WNBA, a league once fighting for attention now basking in her radiance. Her critics, many of whom masquerade skepticism as analysis, fail to grasp the historical significance of what she represents, not just a scoring machine or a flashy passer, but a symbol of opportunity, equality, and boundless potential. The fact that such intense scrutiny and pressure are placed on her shoulders is a testament to her unparalleled magnetism and the uncomfortable reality she exposes, that the system was never ready for a woman to dominate on her terms. As Sue Bird and other legends grapple with what her meteoric rise means for the league's long-term ecosystem, it becomes clear that this is not merely about basketball. This is a broader cultural reckoning. Clark's journey, from underdog to icon, is laced with narratives of resilience, vision, and disruption, each moment adding another verse to an unfolding epic that transcends sport. She has become the litmus test for progress, the lightning rod for debate, and the blueprint for future greatness. In the boardrooms of ESPN, the studios of First Take, and the locker rooms of rivals, her name echoes with both reverence and rebellion. She is the spark and the storm, the myth and the reality, the future and the now. And no matter how many $5 tickets the league offers, one Caitlin Clark moment is worth every seat in every arena being full. The world is no longer just watching her. They're learning from her, reacting to her, and ultimately being reshaped by her.